Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on why are software updates so important for your security. This webinar will be presented by Mr. Nikhil More. Nikhil is an online marketing expert at Quick Heal Technology Private Limited and has over 9 years of experience in digital marketing and has a passion for technology usability and photography. Nikhil is also a recognized expert in internet marketing strategies for the antivirus industry. At Quick Heal, Nikhil is associated with the Cybersecurity Program, which is the company's corporate social responsibility initiative. I will now hand over the proceedings to Nikhil.
Thank you, Mamta, and a warm welcome to one and all for today's webinar on why are software updates so important for your security. Now, before we begin the webinar, a small announcement. In case you have any questions about any of these slides on the webinar or any questions about the software updates and how it happens, uh, you please make a note of the slide number, or you can just make a note of your question, and you can ask these questions at the Q&A session, which is going to happen at the end of today's session. In case you have any questions after today's session, you can make a note of our email address where you can write to us. The email address is corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. We will be sharing with you the recording for today's webinar which would be hosted on our YouTube channel, and we would be also sharing this presentation, which would be hosted on SlideShare. Now, without any further ado, let's begin with today's interesting topic, which is why are software updates so important for the security of your data in your computer. Let's begin. Applying regular software update on your computer is one of the basic security measures that helps you keep yourself safe against attackers and malware. Now, this is a very important statement that I've just read out to you from the screen. And why is the supporting reasons will be, I will discuss this in your upcoming slides. Now, let's see what will we discuss in this webinar. What are software updates? Very basic thing. Then what are software vulnerabilities? Third, why are software updates so important for your security? And the fourth is how Quick Heal helps you stay away from software vulnerabilities. Before we begin, I have something to ask the fine audience today. I have an opinion poll to begin today's webinar. Let me bring up the opinion poll for you. What is the best recommended measure to take care in order to deal with software vulnerabilities in your PC? The question that I've asked, I'll repeat my question. It is, what is the best recommended measure to take in order to deal with software vulnerabilities in your PC? Is it first, install updates automatically? Second, is it download updates, but let me choose whether to install them? Third is check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them. And fourth is never check for updates. I will repeat the answers again for the fine audience today. The answers options are first, install updates automatically. Second, download updates, but let me choose whether to install them. The third one is check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them. And the fourth one is never check for updates. I have close to about 50% of today's audience casted their vote. I would give them another 15 seconds before I close this opinion poll and share the results with you. I think we have close to 60% audience casted their vote. I think people are still joining us, so we would not haste with today's webinar. We would give another 10 more seconds before I actually close this opinion poll and share the results with you folks. All right, I think we have close to 75% of our audience already casted their vote. So I would now close this opinion poll and share the results with you. So 59% of today's audience feels that install updates automatically should be the option which you should uh, use as a measure to deal with software vulnerabilities in your PC. 15% of today's audience think that download updates, but let me choose whether to install them should be the option. 21% of today's audience think that check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them should be an option. And 6% audience think never check for updates. Well, audience, those who answer install updates automatically, that's the best option to choose. And why is it so is something that I will discuss in the upcoming slides. But the fourth option, never check for updates, is the most dangerous path to walk on. So it's recommended never to check this option whenever you are talking, whenever you are allowing any software updates to be downloaded to your PC. Why is something we will discuss in our upcoming slides. Let's move ahead. So basically, what are software updates? Software updates are a piece of software that software vendors release on the internet. So who are the software vendors? So manufacturers of software. So it's the computer industry. So you must have seen all sorts of, you use operating systems like Windows. Microsoft is the parent company where Microsoft releases updates for Windows operating system. You use antivirus solutions like Quick Heal Technologies has its antivirus solution, security softwares. Now those security softwares also need security updates. So these we call it as antivirus updates. So these updates are necessary because we check for software vulnerabilities which are present in the World Wide Web and which would infect the functioning of your device. Now, these updates are called as patches or service pack. They mainly consist of a lot of things. Now, let me talk a little about what are patches and what are service packs. Patches for proprietary software, they are typically distributed as executable files instead of the source code, which is basic program of the software. This type of patch modifies the program executable file, the program that actually, the software that actually runs on your system, either by modifying the binary file or to include the fixes by completely replacing it. Because the word patch carries a connotation of a small fix, large fixes may have a different nomenclature. Let me give you an example of a bulky patch or patches that signify programs majorly used by operating system like Windows, which is used by and large. These bulky patches are called as service packs or software updates. Now, Microsoft, Windows NT and all its successors, which is Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, they use the terminology of a service pack. What do these software patches and service packs include? They include security vulnerabilities, basically fixes for security vulnerabilities and bug fixes for your product enhancement. A software update, always also known as patch, is a piece of software released by the software vendor, mainly to address software security vulnerabilities in the existing products. Software updates occasionally contain bug fixes and product enhancements. These updates are installed over current installation and do not require uninstallation or reinstallation of the software. In simple words, when you need to update a program, you don't need to do anything other than let the update do its own thing. This brings us to an interesting opinion poll, a second one. Uh, this question is being asked by a lot of our audience time and again, so I would like to bring this up for you. Which one of these is the strongest form of a password. You have four options in front of your screen here. Your options are password 123, which is basically letters and numbers. Then you have the second option, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numeric, which is only numbers. Then you have the third option, which is a combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. And the fourth is just the word password, which is only letters. Which of them do you think is the strongest form of a password? We have about 60% of today's audience casted their vote. I would give them another 20 seconds before I close this opinion poll and share the results with you. It's very important for you to have a stronger password. I think we have close to 70%. Okay, correction. There's 75% of today's audience already casted their vote. All right, so I think we have close to 80% of today's audience already cast their vote. I would now close this poll and share the results with you. So 90% of today's audience have selected option 3, the password, which is uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. 12% have chosen only letters and numbers, which is option 1. We have 4% of audience each who chosen option 2 and option 4, which is only numbers and only letters. Now, pat on your backs, audience. Option 3 is the best password combination that you should use. It's a combination of letters in uppercase and lowercase, numbers, and special characters. This makes your software unguessable, and it also helps you enhance the security of your accounts, your online accounts. May it be your banking password, may it be a social media password, or may it be a password to your computer. All right, without any further ado, let's proceed with today's topic. What are software security vulnerabilities? So what are software vulnerabilities or security factors of software vulnerabilities? In a computer security, a vulnerability basically means a weakness which allows an attacker to reduce the system information assurance. A vulnerability is the intersection of three elements: a system susceptibility or a flaw, the attacker access to that flaw, and the attacker's capability to exploit the flaw. To exploit a vulnerability, an attacker must have at least one applicable tool or technique that can connect to a system weakness. In this frame, vulnerability is also known as the attack surface. Vulnerability management is a critical practice of identifying, classifying, remediating, or mitigating vulnerabilities. This practice generally refers to software vulnerabilities in computing systems. A security risk may be classified as a vulnerability. The use of vulnerability with the same meaning of risk can lead to confusion. The risk is tied to the potential of the significant loss. Then there are vulnerabilities without risk, for example, when the affected asset has no value. For example, you use an email account to which you never receive an email, or you never send out uh, an email using that ID. Could be a vulnerability without any, it would be an asset without any value. A vulnerability with one or more instances of working and fully implemented attacks is classified as exploitable vulnerability, a vulnerability which exploits, in which the exploits exist. The window of vulnerability is time from where the security hole was introduced or manifested in deployed software. When the access was removed, a security fix was available or deployed, or the attacker was disabled. which is like a zero-day attack. Moving forward to security holes, uh, which are a weakness in the software security. Now, an unintended flaw in a software code or a system that leaves it open to potential for exploitation is in the form of an unauthorized access or a malicious behavior. This is particularly seen in the forms of software programs which can be termed as viruses, malwares, worms, Trojan horses, and other forms of the malware family. Also referred to as security exploits, security vulnerabilities can result from software bug, weak software or weak passwords, or softwares that already have been infected by computer virus or scripted code injection. It's a technical term, technique used by hackers to deploy a vulnerability in your system. These soft security vulnerabilities require patches or fixes in order to prevent potential harm for compromised integrity, which is created by the hackers or the malwares, which basically is a bad software. Vulnerabilities. So, what for information and information assurance professionals seek to reduce? Basically, cutting down vulnerabilities provides fewer options for malicious users to gain access to secure information. Now, computer users, network professionals can protect systems from vulnerabilities by keeping software security patches up to date by making it automated. These patches can be remedy flaws or security holes that were found in the initial release of the software. And the computer and network personnel should also stay informed about the current vulnerabilities in the software they use to seek out different ways of protecting them. Basic way is to make sure you have the updates readily available on your system. Now, this is a little more information on security holes. These are basically weaknesses in the system that can leave it exposed to threats such as malware attacks, as we've already discussed. Moving ahead, why are software updates so important for your security? It's a uh, basic need that I've already explained earlier. Now, software updates are also crucial because of the simple reason that they can fix security vulnerabilities. So, whenever a software is created, it's created from an angle with a specific purpose. But later on, whenever there are some flaws, I wouldn't call it as a flaw, but there are some improvements which are required to a software to make it more susceptible to vulnerabilities. They send out information to users uh, when it comes to enhancing the security of them. These information that is being sent out is called as your software patches. Like for example, when Quickheal sends its updates daily to its users, these updates are basically work as a patch where it tells the system, because see, when a vulnerability, when the software was created, vulnerabilities come in, day out. So every day we have to stay alert and keep the software updated so that it can stay protected from the vulnerabilities that uprise every day. Now, if the software is not updated, if the updates are not set to get updated automatically, the software which is present in in the computer will never know how to defend itself. Now, the defense mechanism needs to be strengthened by letting the updates come to it day in, day out. Now, let me give you a very simple example. Your internet browser might not have a certain security, or it might be exploited to a software vulnerability that can allow compromised websites to drop a malware on your computer. Now, if you happen to visit such a bad site, which you probably may not know that it's a bad site, and you might visit there, if that patch or if that security patch is not available on your browser, the chances that the uh, compromised website will drop the information or drop the malware on your computer and compromise the security is very high. So it's a high risk when you do not patch your computer system. This particular type of attack is known as drive by download. Now, let me explain to you in a little more detail as to what is drive by downloads. Now, drive-by downloads may happen when you're visiting any website, or not necessarily only a website, but also viewing an email message or clicking on a pop-up that might come on your window, a deceptive pop-up, let's call it that. And by clicking on that window or clicking on that message, you mistakenly believe that this is a genuine link for you to download a genuine software, or something that is useful to you. But such an innocent click on the advertisement pop-up might not be, with the good intent always. In these cases, the supplier may claim that the user consented to download, that is, user is you, where you have consented to download the software, although the user in fact was unaware of such unwanted or malicious software that has gotten downloaded to his computer. So, not necessary that you might have to click on these malicious websites. There could be instances where software may be downloaded to your system without your knowledge. Let me give you a very good example. Websites which were exploited by Windows MetaLife vulnerability, which was eliminated by the Windows update in January 2006. These may provide examples of drive-by downloads of this sort. Hackers use different techniques to obfuscate the malicious code so that antivirus software is unable to recognize it. This code is executed in hidden iframes, and this could have gone undetected also. So, this brings me to a very interesting opinion poll, the last one for today. Let me bring up this poll for you. Is it okay to ignore less critical software vulnerabilities? Let me bring up this question again. Is it okay to ignore less critical software vulnerabilities? I have close to 30% of today's audience already casted their vote. I would wait for some more time before I close this opinion poll results and share the results with you. The question is it okay to ignore less critical software vulnerabilities? Now, your software patches that come to you from Windows or come to you from a lot of software that you use, this might be smaller in size. This can be, which we call it as small patches, or it could be bulky patches, which we call it as Windows service packs. Service packs can be from a few MB, like 2 or 3 MB, and can go up to more than 100 plus MBs of software. Then are patches which could be available from a few KBs to a few MBs also. So is it a good practice for you to ignore less critical software vulnerabilities? I think we have 70% of today's audience already casted their votes. I have now closed this opinion poll and share the results with you. All right, so we have 69% of today's audience casted the votes, which they're saying this is false. It's not okay to ignore less critical soft vulnerabilities, and 31% agree, saying that okay, it's okay to ignore less critical vulnerabilities. The correct answer is false. Critical or less critical, every software vulnerability needs to be patched with software updates. Rule of thumb. Whenever you have a software update available, whenever you have a patch available, please let the system automatically download the patch to your software, so all vulnerabilities could be taken care of right then and there. Let's move ahead. Okay, very interesting vulnerability that has been present, which has been in the news all over the globe, the Adobe vulnerability, the Adobe Flash vulnerability to be more precise. Uh, Adobe vulnerabilities, it's been said that it's a never-ending string of security risks. Now, let me give you a little brief facts, which we have taken from the Adobe site itself, where Adobe claims that more than 500 million devices are addressable today with flash technology, and it's projected that there will be over 1 billion addressable devices by the end of 2015, the end of this year. More than 20,000 apps in the mobile markets like the Apple App Store or the Android Google Play are built using the Flash technology. 24 of the top 25 Facebook games are built using Flash technology. The top 9 Flash technology enabled games in China generate over 70 million US dollars a month, and more than 3 million developers use Adobe Flash technology to create engaging, interactive, and animated web content. But here is a worrying statistics to the set of Adobe provides. More than 400 million connected desktops update to the new version of Adobe Players within 6 weeks of release. 6 weeks is really a long time when it comes to cybersecurity. In 6 weeks, millions of Flash users can be compromised, and the worst news is that they usually become victims of cyber attacks. Now look at some more facts that we follow. There are 32 vulnerabilities in Adobe which allow the DDoS or the DOS attack. Tell you what is a DOS attack. It's basically nothing but denial of service. Now, a little more about denial of service. Denial of service is it's basically any type of attack where the attackers attempt to prevent legitimate users from accessing the service. In a DOS, that's denial of service attack, the attacker usually sends excessive messages asking the network or server to authenticate requests that have been invalid return addresses. Network or server will not be able to find the return address of attacker when sending authentication approval, causing the server to wait before closing the connection. When the server closes the connection, the attacker sends more authentication messages with invalid return address. Hence, the process of authentication and server wait will begin again, keeping the network or the servers busy. This is about the DOS attack. Now there are 28 vulnerabilities allowed memory corruption. Now memory corruption occurs in a computer program when the contents of the memory location are unintentionally modified due to programming errors. This is termed as violating memory safety. 68 vulnerabilities in Adobe are allowed code execution. Now, code execution in computer security, and arbitrary code execution is used described by an attacker's ability to execute any commands of the attacker's choice on the targeted machine in the target process, which means that a code is being executed by a hacker without the knowledge of the user. Any kind of command can be run by the hacker without your knowledge and without your permission on your targeted machine. The last but definitely not the least, 13 instances of Adobe security vulnerability where it was 13 allowed attackers to steal user information. So there is not only the risk of security software being compromised, but there is also a risk of your information being stolen. Let's move ahead. 90% of software updates contain fixes that care of security vulnerabilities and reduce the risk of internet attacks. So let me reiterate this fact. Only the thing that is expected of the user is to make sure that the software updates is set to automatic, and 90% of the software updates that contain fix will take care of the security vulnerabilities. Okay, let's move on. Software updates are also important for product enhancement. As you might have already realized it by now, what miracles can software updates do for you by not only protecting the software that you use, but also the other information that is there on your system to be kept safe from hackers. How can Quick Heal help you stay away from software vulnerabilities? The most important question in uh, today's webinar. Quick Heal helps you stay safe against the dangers of security vulnerabilities, and it has many features which are available in the software. One of them is vulnerability scanner. Now, what is the vulnerability scanner? It helps you detect the security vulnerabilities in your machine so that they can get a fix for the same. Browser Sandbox. Browser Sandbox run on the internet browsers in a safe virtual environment. Any infected file downloaded in this space will be blocked from reaching the real PC. So Browser Sandbox is nothing but it's a screen that is created between the internet and your computer, where in case of any accidental downloads or unintentional downloads, when the software files gets downloaded to your computer, it still remains safe in a sandbox environment, and the moment you close the browser, everything is back to normal. I've also it's an excellent protection against attacks like drive-by downloads, where we've explained the drive-by downloads. The user downloads softwares with a click on a link which he thinks is genuine. Sometimes the software gets downloaded without the knowledge of the user. Web security, most important, automatically blocks websites that could be compromised and carrying a malicious code and links. Email security, it blocks emails that could carry malicious codes designed to exploit any security vulnerabilities. As I've said earlier in my presentation, when you talk about a drive-by downloads attack, it's possibly not only related to the links that you visit on the internet, but the link could also contain in your emails. So emails could be a source where the security of your software can be compromised by clicking on malicious links or links that take you to malicious websites where malwares could be present, which could be downloaded to your system, thus compromising the security of your device. That's it for today, folks. In case you have any queries regarding this webinar, please feel free to write to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. If you want to follow us on Facebook, the address is facebook.com/quickhealav. The Twitter handle for Quickheal is twitter.com/quickheal. If you'd like to follow us on the Google Plus page, please take a note of our bit.ly ID for Google Plus, which is bit.ly/quickheal Google Plus. The video for today's webinar would be hosted on our YouTube channel. The address is youtube.com/quickheal. The presentation would be hosted on SlideShare. The address is slideshare.net/quickhealppds. For more information on Quick Heal products, please visit us at quickheal.com. To stay updated about the news on security industry, visit us at blogs.quickheal.com. We would now begin the Q&A session. All right, let me bring up the questions that were asked. Okay. Bhupendra Shukla has asked us a question, what is a malware? But Bhupendra, to answer your question, malware is a category of websites which maliciously uh, steals information from your computer and gives it to a hacker or to any server which is located outside the perimeter of your network. Malware could also give access to the hacker to the information in your computer, thus compromising the security of your device. Okay, we have a question from Ravi. In some cases, users aren't able to update their antivirus software from the internet. What could be the technical reason behind this condition? Now, Ravi, to answer your question, all these software patches, when we talk about, get updated on when uh, the information, the software patches are released by the software companies. Now, your internet needs to be connected all the time to make sure that these patches, whenever they are released, get updated. If not that, please also try and find if there are offline updates available for the security software, especially if I talk about Quick Heal. We understand that internet connectivity all the time is a challenge. So we do not want our users computer security to be left uncompromised. So we provide our users an option with security updates which can be downloaded offline. In case you want to use security updates for Windows, you can go into the Windows settings to set the security updates to automatic. So whenever there is an update available, Windows will automatically download that and install the security patch. I hope this answers the question. Javed has asked us a question. Is your free mobile app useful? So Javed, to answer your question, mobile security software which is available from Quickheal, we have several versions of that available on Google Play. One of them is Quickheal Fantastic. Now, Fantastic is a software which we call it as a friend of your mobile phone, where it helps you not only stay protected from the vulnerabilities available on which are vulnerabilities present on the internet, but also helps you improve the performance of your device. The second software that we have, which is Quick Heal Total Security for Android, security software designed specially for Android ecosystem, which we not only help the users stay protected, but also let them use various other features like backing up the contacts, backing up your profile, your pictures, and your videos. So yes, definitely. Since we have seen, we have observed right from 2014 and till now, the rise in security vulnerabilities in Android ecosystem are at a rise, and it's rising at an alarming rate. So using an Android without a security software is not something that we would recommend to all our users. So you make sure that you have at least one of the free softwares available on Quick Heal on the Google Play account for Quick Heal. We can download the software for free. Fantastic is free. There's a free version of Fantastic available on Google Play. Also, there is another basic mobile security software available on Google Play, which is Quick Heal Mobile Security, used by millions of users worldwide. Let's move ahead to the next question. Um, Bhupender Shukla has asked a question. Please tell us more about viruses. So, Bhupender, to answer your question, viruses are basically nothing but it's files which are created for a purpose which is not the intended purpose of a software, where it can create problems for the users either by compromising the security of the software or the security of your device, or by compromising your personal information by stealing it, by sharing it with people who are called as cyber criminals or hackers. In Quickheal, we sample around lakhs and lakhs of uh, these kind of malicious codes and virus samples every day, day in, day out. So there are actually millions of them available on the internet. The basic thing that we need is a protection and a robust protection from these vulnerabilities, and also from something which is more vulnerable, which we call it as zero-day attacks. So zero-day attacks is basically uh, it is a vulnerability which has no solution to it. But Quick Heal software also protects you from these zero-day vulnerabilities. If you want to know more about it, please visit our website, which is quickheal.com. If you have technical questions, please feel free to get in touch with our technical support team. You can write to them at quickheal.co.in/submit ticket. Okay, Surya Narayan Singh has asked us a question. My computer got is infected with a rootkit, and it flashes every time it stops. Uh, Okay, Suryanarayan Singh, I think you should talk to our technical support team. I've just mentioned where you can write to them. If you are from India, you can call them on the number which is 927-2233-000. I'll just repeat the number for you. It is 927-2233-000. Please call on this number, talk to our technical experts, and they will definitely help you resolve this problem. Mehul Thakkar has asked us a question. Please help me understand important uh, and different tools provided by the Quickheal Total Security software, which you need to run periodically. Mehul, to tell you, there are various softwares in Quickheal Total Security. I'm not exact. I don't know which one you exactly want to know more about, but there is PC Tuner available in this. In the total security software, you can use PC Tuner to make sure that all the junk files in your system are cleared out. You should regularly use PC Tuner. Uh, I use PC Tuner once a week, so I can keep my computer clean from junk files. Whenever I do internet banking or I do shopping on my laptop, I make sure I use the Quick Heal safe banking feature available in Total Security. I'm at peace of mind when I'm using that software, wherein I'm sure my information is not going out to hackers or cyber criminals, and also that they are not stealing my financial information like my credit card number or my internet banking details. The various other softwares, like you have an anti-rootkit available in the software in case you are suspecting a rootkit attack on your PC. You can run the anti-rootkit software and stay protected. Make sure that you are scanning your computer on a regular interval, which makes you keeps you at peace of mind, making sure that all viruses from your system are detected and removed, and files which have compromised the security are quarantined. In case you need more information about our software, please do write to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. Any specific questions about how to use Quickheal software, we'll be more than happy to help you with. Let's move ahead to the next question. Parmeshwaran Shankar Narayanan has asked us a question. Is there any international agency monitoring such malicious activities? Now, cybercrime is, a crime which is an upcoming thing, and a lot of countries have rules and regulations against cyber criminals. For example, India has Information Technology Act 2000. Uh, US and all the upcoming countries, developed nations, have laws against cyber criminals and cybercrime happening. There are agencies like Facebook who are very particularly aware and take strict actions against cyber crimes like cyberbullying. So there is very stern action taken against these agencies like Facebook. So yes, there are different agencies, but not one which would monitor such activities. Every nation has its own law enforcement agencies which are equipped with technology to stop such attacks. Let's move to the next question. Avinash has asked us a question. If you keep automatic download activity on Windows, normally it takes long time to download and install the update and the security patches. Mostly it takes long time while restarting the system. What will be the solution for the same? So Avinash, okay, when we're talking about Windows, see, there is a slight difference here. There are security patches which is smaller in size, and then you have something called as uh, you know service packs, which is a little larger in size. Now, the patches were the security patches that we're talking about. They don't change the way the software works, but when we talk about service packs, they might change the way the entire system is working, the core files also. So if you are downloading a service pack, then what it's likely that these service packs will change the way the software behaves. So for these changes to be implemented, these changes needs to be implemented right from the first step when the computer is booting. This, when you're doing it for the first time, might make your computer slightly slower than usual because there are some new tasks or things that it's asking the computer to perform before starting the entire system. So I hope this answers your question. This will not happen probably the second or the third time you use. This happens usually on the first time. So you can just let it go for using it for the first time. Let's move ahead. Indranil has asked us a question: to what extent the free security softwares can be curbed down to? So, if you're talking about using a free security software, make sure these days whenever you download free security softwares from, there are a lot of reviews available for them. Please read the reviews about these free security softwares before making up your decision of downloading the software and using it. I hope this answers your question. Nitin Shroff has asked us a question: when we download softwares online, is it risky? All right, Nitin, I am not sure if I've understood your question correctly, but if you're talking about downloading softwares from a genuine source, then it's likely that you should just check for the reviews about those softwares. But if you're downloading softwares from unknown sources or unverified sources, then we recommend that you do not download the softwares from unverified sources. If you're not sure about if the source is verified or not, you can talk to your friends and family, probably somebody who is an expert into downloading stuff from the internet. He can probably guide you in knowing if there are genuine sources from where you can download the software. I hope this answers your question. We have a question in Hindi from Bhupendra Shukla. मैं अपने कंप्यूटर को 1 से 2 सप्ताह में अपडेट करता हूँ और इंटरनेट यूज़ करता हूँ, तो क्या ये ठीक है? सो भूपेंद्र, अगर मैंने आपका सवाल ठीक से समझा है तो आप आपके सॉफ्टवेयर्स को हफ्ते में 1 या 2 बार अपडेट करते हैं। ये ठीक है, लेकिन हम आपको ये सलाह देने चाहेंगे कि जब भी आपको पॉसिबल हो, अगर एक दिन में पॉसिबल है तो एक बार अपना जो कंप्यूटर का एटलीस्ट जो आपका ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है या आपका जो एंटीवायरस है उसको अपडेट कीजिए। Because when you update things regularly, it makes sure that the vulnerability or whatever is the security enhancing feature of that software, the patch, gets applied to the software and it's more secure. तो अगर आप सिक्योरिटी को ध्यान में रखते हो तो आपको रेगुलरली करना ज़रूरी है। मुझे लगता है ये आपके सवाल का जवाब होगा। अगर आपके पास और कुछ सवाल है इसके बारे में तो आप corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in पे मुझे लिख सकते हैं। Avinash Mahamuni has asked us a question. He's worried about if the automatic software update will eat up space from his hard drive. So Avinash, to be honest with you, when you talk about these software patches, it sometimes starts from a few KB and it might go to a few hundred KBs. Sometimes, probably once in a blue moon, might go to 1 MB. So, downloading such small patches will not eat up the space in your hard drive. It's not like, tons of data that's getting downloaded to your system. So you can be assured of it. Even small patches will not eat up space from your computer. Bhupender has asked us another question. I use Android free Quick Heal app for my to secure. Okay, so Bhupender uses the free Quick Heal security app for his tablet. Is it safe to use in its? Yeah, definitely, Bhupender. The app that you're using for your tablet is if you're using the Quick Heal tablet security for Android, we have a specialized app, especially for tablets, because the way a person uses his phone is very different from the way a person uses his tablet for. The uses of a tablet is very different than the use of phone. So we have developed security softwares differently for it. So we recommend you use the tablet security for Android if you're using it for your tablets specifically. Okay, who are cyber criminals and why do they do? Okay, so we have another question from Indraneel. It says, who are cyber criminals? So cyber criminals are no different than your criminals that you find in the real world. Like you have, dacoits or thieves who barge into your house without your permission and steal things from your almirah or from your lockers, from your drawers. The same way we have cyber criminals who are thieves on the internet. They like to steal things from innocent people, from people who would keep their credit card information in the browser, or who do the internet banking passwords. They steal those things so that they can steal money from the people's accounts. So cyber criminals are nothing but bad people whose intention is to trouble you either financially or by exposing your personal identifiable information to the world at large. Like we have seen many cyber criminals stealing usernames and passwords and sharing it on the internet. These people are basically bad people who would like to trouble the innocent people in the world. And security software helps you stay away or keep protected from these cyber criminals by adding additional layer of security to your personal information in your devices. Prashant has asked us a question. There are few programs called as Pelican Search. Prashant, I think you are asking about a technical question, so you can ask us these questions to our support team, or you can write to me and at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. We'll try and get the answers to all your questions on your technical queries. Okay. Should I download stuff from torrent sites or peer-to-peer sharing sites? We've all been asked this question. Well, downloading stuff from torrent sites is not something that we would recommend to our users. Torrent sites basically are peer-to-peer sharing sites where you share your softwares or your digital assets on with your peers. We do not recommend you downloading stuff from torrent sites because you never know what software you are downloading. It could be a software which could harm your computer, which could compromise the security. So don't take risks of downloading softwares from torrent sites. Nandini has asked us a question: how often should I regularly boot scan the computer? So Nandini, whenever you use your computer, there is a boot scan that's been done by QuickHeal. But if you would like to have a boot timer scanned, you can use QuickHeal Total Security, QuickHeal Total Securities PC tuner feature where it can scan your PC for junk files and also run the boot time scanner every time you want at the next boot you do. So ideally, I recommend you use your PC tuner at least twice a week. Harihar has asked us a question. Please explain what is a security hole and how to handle them properly. Now, Harihar, as I've explained in my presentation earlier, a security hole is a weakness. So basically, it's an unintended flaw in the security software code that leaves an opportunity or for a potential exploitation in the form of an unauthorized access or a malicious behavior, such as viruses, worms, Trojan horses, and other forms of malware, to take control of your computer and share the access with unintended people who are nothing but hackers. I hope this answers your question. I think we have done with today's questions. So I would now hand over the mic to Mamta to conclude today's proceedings. Thank you very much for joining us on today's webinar. Have a blessed day.
Thank you everyone for being with us for the webinar on why are software updates so important for your security. We hope this webinar has helped you understand the importance of having regular updates on your PC. So have a good day ahead and thanks for joining for the webinar.